Hello everyone, welcome to the maths class. I'm your teacher Miss Matiha. Today we are going to learn about a very easy and interesting topic, direct and inverse proportion. The main objectives of our lesson are to number 1, learn the difference between direct and inverse proportion. Number 2, algebraic representation. Number 3, graphical representation. And number 4, application of the concept of direct and inverse proportion in real world context. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, we are going to discuss about direct proportion. Two quantities are said to be directly proportional to each other if, number 1, an increase in one quantity causes an increase in the other quantity. Number 2, a decrease in one quantity causes a decrease in the other quantity. In other words, both quantities behave alike in a certain condition. Now let's see some examples of directly proportional quantities in real world context. Number 1, the cost of the food items is directly proportional to the weight. Now when you are going to buy more number of food items, the weight will be increased. Due to this increase in the weight of the food items, the cost will be increased. Now, let's suppose you are going to buy less number of food items. Then the weight of the food items will be decreased, and due to this decrease in the mass or in the weight of the food items, the cost of the food items will be decreased. So you can see clearly over here that an increase in one quantity is causing increase in the other, and a decrease in the one quantity is causing decrease in the second quantity. So they are directly proportional to each other. Number 2, work done is directly proportional to the number of workers. Let's suppose a building is to be constructed. If more number of workers is hired, work done will be more work will be done. And if less number of workers is hired, if the number of workers is less, then less work will be done. Number 3, the quantity of fuel in a car is directly proportional to the distance covered. If there is more quantity of fuel in a car, then it can travel more distance. And if the quantity of fuel in the car is less, then the distance covered by it in a certain period of time will be decreased. So in these examples, you can see that an increase in one quantity is causing increase in the other one, and a decrease in first quantity is causing a decrease in the second quantity. So such type of relationship is called direct proportion. Now, let's see the algebraic representation of direct proportion. Algebraic representation of direct proportion. Let's suppose that there are two quantities, x and y, which are directly proportional to each other. The mathematical equation connecting x and y is y is equal to kx or x is equal to ky. X and y are variables, k is a constant provided that k is not equal to 0. What happens when k is equal to 0? When we put k is equal to 0 in any of the above equations, y is equal to kx or x is equal to ky, the value of the variable y or x becomes 0, which is a very big limitation over here. So the value of k cannot be equal to 0. The second equation which connects x and y is x1 by x2 is equal to y1 by y2, where x1 and x2 are the values of variable x, and y1 and y2 are the two different values of the variable y. y1 is the value of y corresponding to x1, and y2 is the value of variable y corresponding to x2 respectively. Graphical representation of direct proportion. When two quantities y and x are directly proportional, we represent it mathematically using this equation y is equal to kx for a constant k. Now, you can see that when two quantities are directly proportional, their graph is a straight line which passes through the origin. Okay, let's discuss an example. 108 identical books have a mass of 30 kg. Find part A, the mass of 150 such books, and part B, the number of such books that have a mass of 20 kg. Number of books. Let's denote number of books by variable x and the mass of the books by variable y. Now, using the given condition, 108 identical books have a mass of 30 kg. So the first value of x is 108 and the corresponding value of the mass is 30 kg. So y1 is equal to 30 kg. In part A, we have to find the mass of 150 books. So the number of books given to us is 150. It is the second value of the variable x. So we have denoted it by x2. And we have to find the corresponding mass. So it's denoted by y2, which is unknown. Now let's see that what type of proportion is involved over here. When the number of books is increasing from 108 to 150, we can see that the mass of the books will also increase. So the proportion involved over here is direct proportion. Since x is directly proportional to y, the equation connecting them is x1 by x2 is equal to y1 by y2. So we are going to put the values of x1, y1, x2, y2 over here. X1 is equal to 108, x2 is 150, and y1 is 30. So we have put the values over here, which are known, and the unknown y2 is written as it is. Now, by cross multiplication, what we are going to do, 108 multiplied by y2 is equal to 150 multiplied by 30. Now 108 is multiplying on the left hand side, on the right hand side it will divide. So y2 is equal to 150 multiplied by 30 divided by 108. 150 multiplied by 30 is 4500 over 108 is 41.7 kg. So from here we got y2 equals to 41.7 kg. y2 is the mass of 150 books. So the mass of 150 books is equal to 41.7 kg. Now let's move to part B. We have to find the number of books that have a mass of 20 kg. So now we have the mass and we have the number of books unknown. As we can see that now the mass is decreasing from 30 kg to 20 kg. So the number of books will also decrease. As we know that the two quantities are directly proportional now, so the relationship between them is x1 by x2 is equal to y1 by y2. This equation will be connecting the two variables x and y. Now we are going to put the values of x1, y1 and y2 in this equation. So x1 is equal to 108, x2 is unknown, so we are going to write x2 as it is, equal steps down as it is, y1 is 30 and y2 is equal to 20 kg. Now by cross multiplication we have 108 multiplied by 20 is equal to 30 multiplied by x2. x2 is unknown, 30 is multiplying on the right side, on the left side it will divide. So the value of x2 comes out to be 72. 72 is the number of books corresponding to the mass 20 kg. So from here we come to know that 72 books have 20 kg mass. Let's move to the next part of the topic, inverse proportion. Inverse proportion is also called indirect proportion. Two quantities are said to be inversely proportional to each other if, number one, an increase in one quantity causes a decrease in the other quantity. Number two, a decrease in one quantity causes an increase in the second quantity. In other words, both quantities behave opposite to each other. Now let's see some examples from real world life. Number one, the number of men laying a road and the time taken to finish the work. If more number of men are hired to complete that road, less time will be required to complete the work. And if the number of men is decreased, obviously more time will be consumed to finish the work. Part 2. The number of cattle to be fed and the amount of fodder. If you increase the number of cattle, the amount of fodder will be decreased. And if you decrease the number of cattle, the amount of fodder will be increased. It will be consumed for a longer period of time. Less amount of fodder will be consumed then. Number 3, the speed of a car and the time taken to travel a certain distance. If the speed of the car is increased, less time will be taken to travel a certain distance. But if the speed of the car is decreased, more time will be taken to travel that distance. Now let's see the algebraic representation of inverse proportion. Let's suppose there are two quantities, x and y, which are inversely proportional to each other. The mathematical equation connecting x and y is xy is equal to k, or y is equal to k by x. This is the first equation that connects x and y. The second equation that connects the two variables is x1 by x2 is equal to y2 by y1. I repeat, x1 by x2 is equal to y2 divided by y1. X and y are the variables, k is a constant provided that k is not equal to 0. The same reason, if we put k is equal to 0, the value of y will become 0, which is not possible. Now let's see the graphical representation of inverse proportion. When two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, it is mathematically represented like this. And the equation will be y is equal to k by x for a constant k. Now, you can see a curve shape of the graph here. So when x and y will be inversely proportional to each other, the graph of them will be a curve. Example. Let's discuss an example. 8 men can build a bridge in 9 days. Find the time taken for 6 men to build the same bridge. Now in this word problem, you can see that the two quantities involved over here are the number of men and the number of days. So let's denote number of men by x and the number of days by y. 8 men can build a bridge in 9 days. So we take the first values as x1 is equal to 8 and y1 is equal to 9. We have to find the time taken for 6 men to build the same bridge. So over here, the number of men is given as 6 and we have to find the number of days. So x2 is equal to 6 and y2 is unknown. Now, as the number of men is decreasing, so from here we come to know that if less number of men will be hired, more number of days will be required to complete that bridge. So a decrease in one quantity is causing increase in the other quantity. So the proportion involved over here is inverse proportion. So the equation connecting the variables will be x1 by x2 is equal to y2 by y1. Now we are going to put the values of x1, x2 and y1 in this equation. So we have 8 by 6 is equal to y2 by y9, y2 by 9. Now by cross multiplication we have 8 multiplied by 9 is equal to y2 multiplied by 6. Now 9 8s are 72. 6 times y2 is on the right hand side, 6 is multiplying on the right side, on the left side it will divide. So 72 divided by 6 is equal to y2. Y2 is equal to 12. It means that 6 men will take 12 days.